Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the latest episode of the 5-Star Potential Podcast Social, your daily podcast to get you through lockdown. Hope you guys are keeping well and safe. And again, I am joined by some of the best people in the FM community, and I say that with a lot of oomph because I've already bottled the recording today, and I'm saying it before any of those can. So, my name is Dave. Alongside me today, we have got Doob. Doob, how's it going?
Yeah, Dave, really good. Bad day today, mate. Feel shit. Camera's broke. Look like I'm in a fridge, and my hair's shit. It's pretty much what I said last time, right?
Yeah, no, that's bang on, mate.
Yeah. Episode 11.5, everybody. Hope you enjoy it.
We've got Joe, Friday Night FM. Joe, how you keeping, man?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
You alright?
Yeah.
I thought of a film that I wanted to recommend. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
I've got one too, Dave. It's called Deja Vu.
Yeah. Any more? Yeah.
Shave and Reload.
Oh, anyway. And our special guest today, we've got worst football manager, get my words out, PokesFM, or better known as Ben. How's it going, mate?
Yeah, I'm all right. You know, I've got things to do, Dave, but luckily I've got a lot of, I've got a lot of patience, got a lot of grace, forgiveness, I'll move on.
Just turn it to Tyson Fury.
Yeah, I got a lot going on, Dave. Got a lot going on.
Well, I'm sorry to you three, but yeah, I'd much rather tell you when we were 5 minutes into the recording and just realise that I didn't click record at all. Anyway, Ben, you said before that you've watched a couple of these, you know the structure, you know how it rolls. Second lockdown, really. I mean, you're very welcome to repeat the story you did tell us about 10 minutes ago, because I'm sure we're all ears again. But second lockdown, that was announced a couple of weekends ago. So what was your reaction when that was first announced?
Yeah, I think I just wasn't that shocked when it came out, really. I think in comparison to March, when it was announced then, it was this massive shock, really, wasn't it? Like, there was just this... we sort of all gathered round 8 p.m, watched Bozza, watch him do his little briefing, and we're all like, oh my days, what does this look like, and what does this feel like, and we didn't know what we were doing. And so and I was saying earlier, when we were doing the actual recording earlier on before it went wrong, I was just saying that, like, just before the briefing, about an hour before, I had this text from my brother-in-law. And he said, oh my days, they're going to, like, close all the petrol stations, so you're not going to be able to get any petrol. And so we were like, right, get outside quick. So I jumped in the car, went down the road to get petrol, and thinking it was going to be, like, queues and carnage everywhere, and everywhere's run out. But it was completely fine. Like, literally, it was completely empty. But it was that sort of sense of, like, panic and unknown, and we didn't know back in March. But this one feels a lot more known. I had a colleague... I still do. She's still my colleague. That hasn't changed. She was like, back in August, September, she was like, a lot of the local authorities are planning for another lockdown. A lot of people are saying about the second wave coming, and so there wasn't this sort of shock of it. But I think for me, it's now just a frustration. It's just I'm sort of just annoyed about it. Annoyed at the impact it has on my life. Annoyed at the sort of monotony of it. And yeah, I'm frustrated about the way it's kind of happened, really. The way it's been managed. And like, I know, obviously, the grass is always greener on the other side, but sometimes you look at other countries and the way they're dealing with it, and you think, well, they seem to be doing all right. I remember, like, looking back at, like, New Zealand and thinking, like, well, she's clearly doing something right in that country, right? Well, what have we done wrong? And I know there's lots of variables in this, but you sort of, it gets a bit frustrating, doesn't it?
I just get a bit jealous when I'm watching the football in other countries and they're all in the stadiums and stuff. Like, even in the Champions League, like, there's certain countries, if their government is allowing it, there's fans that can go to Champions League games. So
To be fair, Dave, you wouldn't be going to a Champions League game anyway, would you?
Yeah, exactly, mate. Yeah, it's one of those.
Your team are playing tonight.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They got France.
Yeah. Lockdown one though, Ben. So, like, with your work, were you forced to work from home, or do you normally work from home anyway? Like, what was the situation there?
Yeah, so we're all in the office. I work at a church, and so places of worship all closed, like they are now. And so we all work in an office. It's a sort of biggish church, so we've got quite a lot of employees and stuff. But we were all told to work from home, which is, at first, it was like buzzing, wasn't it? There's anyone else who has to work at home, they'll feel it. You were like, amazing, I'll just get to do what I want, when I want, roll out of bed, sit in Zoom calls in my PJs, do you know what I mean? It's going to be amazing. And so we have been doing ever since. A bunch of people got furloughed. I didn't get furloughed. My role was sort of too kind of key for it really, so I didn't get furloughed. And I think there's loads of dynamics in that. I don't know what you guys experienced, but like a lot of when there's some people furloughed and some people not. And for our place, we sort of topped up. There was like the 80% that the government would pay, and then everybody was furloughed with us. We're like, oh, we'll just top you up that 20%. So they got full pay anyway, which is amazing, really. And there's that dynamic where you talk to any of the people who are furloughed, because most of the people I work with, they're mates as well. They're not just colleagues who are, slag off behind their backs. They're actually genuinely mates. So, you talk to them and chat with them, and they're like, on one level, they don't really want to tell you how they're doing, because particularly the first month or so, they were loving life. They were like, I don't have to work and I'm getting full pay for this. And then there's a dynamic of like, they feel like, does that mean they're not important to the company, they're not important to the organisation, not important in their role, so they sort of feel like left out. And then I'm sort of like killing my guts out. Like, I remember first few weeks of lockdown back in March was probably like the most stressed and the most busy I think I've ever been in my life. Like, the whole, like everybody across the whole world had their life turned upside down really in terms of work and all that sort of stuff. And I just remember thinking, whoa, oh my days, like this is so much to do and so much to go with. Obviously being a place of worship, we basically took everything that we do and put it online. So we basically changed our church into like a film studio really, where we basically do a TV show every week. And so we had to go from like not doing anything really of that into like it all being about that, which to be honest, I love it, to be honest. I really enjoy it, but it was just a lot of decisions to make, a lot of things to go through. My wife, she works with me as well, so both of us working at home. We've got at the time we had he was 2, he's now 3, but he wasn't in preschool, so he was at home with us, and so he's like desperate for attention, and we're just like chucking snacks at him into the lounge, being like, just have another biscuit, whatever, just as we're like putting on Cars 2 again. Yeah, he loved it. I think he loves it. He absolutely loved it, really. So a lot of just like trying to deal with that. I was watching the Tony Jameson one, and similar probably circumstance to what he's in with the young kids, and just trying to keep them entertained and trying to keep them like, not killing themselves, but you've got this Zoom call going on as well, and it was carnage. It's a bit better now. My wife's on maternity leave now because we've had a second. We had a little girl in May.
Congrats.
Oh, cheers, mate.
She's congrats, man.
Come out all right, 2 legs, 2 arms. She does all the right stuff that baby's supposed to do. Every day I get sick on me without fail, so I'm like, apparently that's a good thing. But anyway,
wait till you start looking after the baby, it gets worse.
Yeah, so it's calmed down a bit now, and you get used to it a bit, don't you? But that first lockdown one was carnage, wasn't it? Just carnage.
How have you obviously we've had a few people that are working from home. How have you been able to separate your work life from your almost social or your own life, where you like to relax, unwind? A lot of people have not struggled, but find it a little bit weird that, they're working in one place, and normally a lot of the FMers as well, working with this computer, maybe going down for their dinner and coming back and playing Football Manager on this computer. Like, how have you adapted to that sort of life?
Yeah, same sort of thing for me, in that this room I'm in now is my office. So this is where I'll work during the day. This is where I'll stream from. This is where I'll play FM from. This is where I'll basically do it all really. And so I don't know. Like at first, when we started, this wasn't really an office anyway. It was more just like a desk. And that was about it, with with a random computer and junk everywhere. So we've had to sort of sort it out, and try to make it a bit more, livable and copable, so you're not pulling your hair out or, bashing your head against the wall. But I don't know, you just sort of, I think there's a few things you can do to help. And anybody who works from home probably knew this way before lockdown. But that whole kind of, turn everything off at the end of the day and have a time when you're like, right, I'm finishing work now, and now this is like, now it's my leisure time kind of thing. So I actually won't use my computer for work. I'll use my rubbishy laptop, and then I'll actually use my computer for Football Manager stuff and for games and stuff. And that helps. I think actually getting dressed. I went a while of just going to work in joggers. Yeah. I was just like, I loved it. Bare feet, joggers, just whatever, slamming it up. I think I had to stop doing that. I was like, actually, I feel like right, slob, and I'm not. I think so. I started not putting a shirt on, but just trying to like do my hair occasionally and like having a shave and stuff like that.
Because I'm struggling to do my hair right now.
I'm just jealous, mate. I'm
just showing off to Dave because Dave's got no hair.
I've struggled to do my hair the last couple of days as well. No, but
I'm getting like the monk bald patch there, right on the top there. I'm getting the monk bald patch, and it's spreading like a virus. It's awful.
Anyway, Dave, did you get that discount code off Darren Goff for the hair transplant?
Mate, it does look. I keep looking at it. Before it does look like I've had a hair transplant. It's a little bit weird.
Because you have.
No, I haven't, mate. Look at the hairline there.
It's been a long time since we've seen the luscious locks.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what's happened.
You know when you set up your own like Football Manager avatar right at the beginning of the game, and if you get your face and then you choose bald, that's what you'll look like.
This is
like
just this is default character. This is start game, type your name and click continue. That's it. I was talking about. I think it was after we finished talking with Tom FM. We were talking about jeans and like casual wear and stuff because I like ever since I finished work a couple of weeks ago, like I hate wearing jeans like in and around the house. I can only wear jeans like if I'm going out to work. So like, I've been wearing like tracksuit bottoms and joggers and all sorts like the last few weeks as well. So just living the life, comfortable. That's it.
No, it's like you want to like make the most of it and be like, I'm at home, I'm going to do what I want. And then just occasionally I'm like, no, I've got to try and make some sort of effort.
Yeah.
Like if I have a Zoom call with somebody I don't actually work with, but somebody from external, then I'll try and like maybe put on a little shirt then, and then just sort of take it off at the end. But it's I don't know. You just try and do little things, routine with your time as well, isn't it? Like if you start work at 9, actually be like sat down at 9 and like trying to, like, the temptation is just to like pop out every 10 minutes or whatever and go and see my wife, go and see the kids or whatever, and to sort of not do that when you don't need to, and trying to be focused, but also being available for them, because ultimately your family are like, they're the important ones. Do you know what I mean? Like more important than your work, particularly in this year, which is it's such a crap year. It's such a crazy year. Like I think everyone's got to prioritise things correctly if they're going to get through it.
Definitely.
How have you? Obviously, when the first lockdown was announced, loads of people sort of set out a plan. I want to start going jogging. I want to start working out more. I want to start learning this skill and that. Like, did you have any plans that you sort of set out, or is it just been work, family, FM? Has that really been how it really been it?
Do you remember like it was like proper hot that first week of lockdown?
Yeah.
But it's like nice, isn't it? I remember that week. It's like my wife and I, and we've got a lodger as well, but she's moved out actually for lockdown too. She's moved to her parents, but we've got a lodger, and the three of us. She's a school teacher, and so schools were cancelled obviously, and like so she was at home as well, and we're all just sat in our garden. We're sitting there in the sun, loving it, and I'm like, we're chatting through all the stuff we're gonna do. And we're like, oh yeah, I'm going to write a book and I'm going to do this. And she's like an English teacher, so she's going to do all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to probably like stream every day actually. I'm going to go into like, just do it every night because I won't be having to get up proper like enough. All these plans are I'm going to go for a run every day. And then about 3 weeks in, I was like, you know what, my plan is basically to get through it.
Yeah.
Just get through it. And I felt guilty about that in a sense. And I felt... lazy in a way. At times I've been like, oh, am I just like this lazy arse and just not doing anything? But I think actually, like somebody said to me, it was about a month or two ago, they used this phrase. He said, like, actually the world's gone through trauma. And I was like, crap, that sounds like pretty full on to call it trauma.
Yeah.
But actually it's true really, because we've all had such radical change in our lives. And actually because of that, when you go through trauma, if you think of like, a war veteran or something who goes through whatever. I know this is way drastically different to that. I'm not saying comparing it, but this term trauma, when you go through some sort of trauma, you can't be expected to like do absolutely everything. You can't. It's just unrealistic. And actually, everyone's got different capacities. Everyone's got different time and skills and different space in their head to do different stuff. And I think we've got to be easy on ourselves, really. I think you've got to go do what you can. Don't kill yourself at the end of it thinking you're going to be a terrible person because you haven't got this done and haven't got that done, and there's no need to fret about this stuff so much. Just do what you can do and then get up tomorrow and do what you can do tomorrow, taking each day as it comes.
Yeah, I think everyone's been there though. I think everybody set out at least one thing. Right, I'm gonna cook more. I'm gonna go like jog, work out. I think like probably 95% of people definitely haven't done what they set out to do during lockdown. I think mainly because of that. Like I think everyone realised how serious it got, or maybe we got a bit lazy and whatnot. But I think it happened. It happened to everyone, really. But
It happens. Yeah, totally.
With obviously where you're living at the moment, like how has it been with friends and family? Has it been an issue to keep in touch or see them, or like what's the situation normally like there?
I'm like really bad at communication. So like I'm one of I've got one sister who's older than me, and she is basically at my parents' house. Not at the moment, obviously, because of lockdown. But she'll be at like my parents' house every day, on the phone to them every day, and she's like, "Hi, mum, hi, dad," like, just chatting away, and like they'll know everything about what each other are doing. I'm really bad at it. I probably contact my mum and dad like
Twice a year?
yeah, no, more than that. Probably like I don't know what are you
3 times.
3 times, yeah, 3. That'll be a good year for me. Actually,
Christmas, birthdays, and Easter. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, my birthday, obviously.
Yeah. Obviously. Obviously. That's what cards are for.
Oh, like, I haven't received anything in the post yet. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so I'm just great. So weirdly, when we went into first lockdown, I started calling them almost every day. So my parents are in like the vulnerable age group.
Did they answer?
Yeah. They were like, "Who's this?"
Oh, yeah.
They just text back being like, "Can't chat right now, busy." Like,
New phone, who this?
Yeah, new phone, who this?
And so like, that was quite weird actually at first, just speaking to them, and it was quite good for our relationship. Probably it's not that I don't get on with them. I'm just really non-communicative. So that was good. Probably now it's back to normal though. Really, I'm with my parents and like my close immediate family. I'll be honest. I work with a lot of my really close friends, so we're chatting on video all the time. And actually now in second lockdown, we're sort of able to do a little bit outside of the house with what we do. So it hasn't been too bad. One thing that was really interesting that happened. So obviously working in a church, we talk about like people who go to a church, like a congregation or like a community, right? And so obviously that community is like gone because people they don't go to church on a Sunday, right? We're in lockdown. And all the people in my work were like, how are we going to build community online? You know, how are we going to do it? Can you even have a community online? And they're talking about this sort of stuff. And I'm just like immediately like obviously all the stuff I've experienced through doing Football Manager stuff on Twitch and YouTube, it was like a no-brainer that online community is possible. And it's just really interesting, isn't it? How, like, I'd say there are some people that don't get that. They don't get that you can do community online. They don't get that you can have friendships and have conversations and connect with someone. Not just connect, but like, you know, actually connect person to person, mate to mate, online. And it's been really interesting showing people that and having people experience that and being like, oh, this does work. Do you know what I mean? And you know, my little community I've got on people I stream with and stuff I love it. You know, I think it's just, you know, it's life-giving, isn't it? It's life-giving. So
with the situations of churches, like how do they normally like make money? Is that through like, because obviously you got maybe a collection during the normal like service, but obviously I'd assume there's been some sort of loss of income with the church at the moment. Well, how is it normally run?
Well, it's just like the same as any charity. So church is a charity, so it's all done by giving. So anybody who wants to give can, you know. So yeah, like our church, most people actually give online anyway. So there's sort of the old basket or little plate going around is, you know, the little church with lots of old people in it will probably still do that.
Yeah.
But for us, it's most people, you know, give by like a monthly thing.
Oh, okay, got it, yeah.
So if I'm honest though, beginning of lockdown, it didn't really change. But I think economically with lockdown and with all this, the impact's going to be really from now onwards. Because actually now we're 6 months in, 7 months in, 8 months in. Now's when people are like, more and more people are going to be made redundant. Now is when more businesses are going to be closing. You know, just hearing about Greggs.
I know,
my dearest Greggs are losing like 800 people, aren't they? And it's like, this isn't March. This is like 6-7 months later. And so I don't know what it'll be like for us in terms of a charity and how that'll impact it. I imagine income will go down. I don't really know that sort of stuff, so I don't really know. But yeah, I think for most businesses and charities, the impact will be into next year and maybe even 2022.
Yeah,
and that's what I think is a bit scary about all of this, isn't it? This isn't a 1 year thing. This is going to be years impact.
And obviously we've had a couple of people with lockdown and obviously with the isolation and all sorts, obviously struggle a little bit, you know, and that's what we've tried to sort of push this podcast forward to help people have someone to listen to, have someone to talk to. Have you ever sort of, or would you ever, you know, if you were in that stage where you were struggling, have you ever been able to reach out? Or do you think you'd be able to reach out to anyone if you ever got to that stage?
Yeah, I think everyone experiences these things in a different way, don't they? Like, so some people in my close family really struggle with depression. One struggles with like manic depression, and so I've learned a lot about it. I'm like not an expert in the slightest with it, but I've sort of experienced it through really close people to me who, particularly depression, have experienced it, and I've learned a lot about it. And one of the things I've learned about it is that there's this version or variety of it called something like situational depression or circumstantial depression, something like that. And basically the gist is it's depression that isn't necessarily something that is a regular sort of thing that you go through often, but it's like really about a certain circumstance or a certain situation in your life, and that's made you go, you know, oh, actually that's brought on depression, and it might last for a certain season, like weeks or days or months, you know.
Almost like a trigger, like it needs a trigger.
Yeah. It's like a, you know, you've got divorced, or you've lost your job, or you know, serious illness in your family or something like that, right? Or death of a loved one, and I would say certainly I've experienced that. It's a sense feeling of like I don't want to get out of bed. I couldn't face a Zoom call right now. You know, I don't know what would happen if I try and get in a conversation with somebody. And as I said, like I've got some friends who I work with really closely, and we've got, I like to think anyway, we've got quite a healthy workplace where most of our meetings start with going, how's everyone doing? And if it's like an hour-long meeting, we might spend about 15 minutes on that, like just seeing how everyone is. And we've had times, and I've had times when I've said, let me just share with you, I didn't want to get out of bed today, you know, or let me share with you, you know, I don't know how I'm going to do any work today because I've got literally no motivation to do it, and I don't quite know what to do. And we've got this sort of culture with our friends in our team that we're like, you know what, it's all right to be like that. Yeah. It's like, it's okay, and you don't have to, you don't have to like pretend you're all right. You don't have to, you know, I don't know. You don't have to sort of say all the right things and do all the right. You can be as you are. Like also recognizing, yeah, we've got some work to do, and we're also going to crack on and do some work, you know. But we are there for each other. So it's hard to find those kind of friendships and hard to find those relationships. But I think when you've got them, you've got to make the most of them, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely.
That's really well put. Yeah.
Sounds like you got a good group of people there that you're working with as well. Like, it sounds perfect, really, the situation. But yeah, like we've said before, like to anyone that is listening, if you need to reach out, links in the description. Obviously, for us guys here, a PokesFM email, or obviously the what we'd say the other professionals as well, people that are trained to help out with this sort of thing. Move on to sort of what we call the fun section, Ben. Obviously, we've got a little bit deep there just to lighten the mood slightly. To find out a little bit more about you and your interests, we always kick off with books. Are you a big book reader? I see you got a few books behind you there. Is that work stuff maybe? I don't know.
Big books.
Hang on. Stop. Have you got to stop doing this?
What?
It's not about the size of the bookcase. It's the books that's in the case, all right?
I mean, as I said...
You can't just show off because you got a big bookcase.
This is
you
literally...
got to know how to use the bookcase.
Like, I can see Victorian embroidery. I mean, the books in here are not very good. I don't know how these books are in there, but go on.
I literally wouldn't have had this angle, but I knew this question was going to be asked. So I was like, right, get that camera, looking at that. They've got big books in there. Le Gruffalo is in there, you know, Mr. Twig.
The thing is, me and Joe know what exactly they are because we read them to our kids. Dave, because his dad read them to me last week, so that's good. That's it, yeah. He's currently on Zog. That's his favourite at the moment, isn't it, Dave?
Bloody love Zog.
I don't have a clue what he's
He reads them to Lib.
Yeah. I actually went and watched Zog the musical. I know.
Zog the musical?
Yeah.
It was good.
Fucking dreadful. The best bit of the day we went to Reading. Like, obviously I didn't want to go, but it was for my little boy, and you know my wife was pregnant at the time, and it was kind of like the last kind of thing that we were going to do before the baby came. The best bit of it was there's a Five Guys next door to the theatre that we went to, so smashed one of them, and then I just fell asleep as I was watching Zog the musical. And like the thing is, it was very low production value. Like they did well, don't get me wrong. They had a couple of bed sheets that was painted different colours, but there was like three
Didn't
people.
have real dragons.
No, my kid already shagged them all. So literally, like there was just like 3 people doing it, and I'm just like it was difficult because they just kept changing characters and changing outfits. And I mean, I could have done it better. I feel the 4 of us could have portrayed the story Zog better.
You should have got up there, mate. Should have been like, listen.
Yeah, but I was asleep, so I kind of couldn't. So yeah. Oh, and the other thing was they ID'd me for a pint. Family day out, and I get a beer whilst I sit there after eating my Five Guys. So I got my ID out, I gave it to him, and I walked in, and the woman was like, "You're not allowed that in here." I was like, "It's literally just about to start." "Yeah, you're meant to drink that like in the middle." I was like, "What? We have a break during Zog? What the fuck?" It's like 12 pages at home. So I literally had to neck this pint of beer. So when I went in, I was literally just like,
Stumbling
"Yeah, I'm
in.
just gonna have a little snooze here." Proper in the mud.
But in terms of books that you enjoy to read, then, if there's any, or what you're currently reading at the moment, is there anything that you'd recommend or you enjoy?
I'm in danger of going super geeky here, so I'm a bit worried. But anyway, I'll just go for it. I'm just going to go all out. We can be honest here. It's about being honest, isn't it? We can be.
Well, we'll be the judge. Go on.
All right. So I've read this book called
You're
Life.
right, you geek.
We're done. Life 3.0, and it's about artificial intelligence, and it's written by some neuroscientist or something. But basically, all he does is he takes his book and he looks at the next 50,000 years, and he's like, where might the world go because of artificial intelligence? So it's obviously there's things that we would talk about in life, like robots taking over us and whatever. But there's also there's all these different scenarios he kind of paints out, what happens if we have robots who are basically our servants, and what that might look like. What happens if we have artificial intelligence that that actually is evil in a sense and takes over us and just wipes us out? What will that look like? All that.
Is that book called The Terminator?
The Terminator, yeah.
It was not iRobot. Was it Wally?
Wally.
It's fascinating. I found it fascinating because I'm like, oh yeah, I don't know. I only think about tomorrow, and I think about what am I going to have for dinner tonight. And so having a book that goes 50,000 years in the future
sounds like a really shit fucking Football Manager experiment.
Yeah.
Video coming out next week on my YouTube channel.
That'll be on the Lujo's channel.
Yeah, but I don't know. I found it really interesting. Just looking at basically the thing they sort of say at the end of it is. We've got a set.
We have no idea.
People looking at our technology. Yeah, exactly. They don't have any idea, and they're like, we don't know. But it's all about what are the goals that we're setting artificial intelligence now. So if you think about algorithms on YouTube and algorithms on Instagram and Facebook and all that sort of stuff, ultimately that is artificial intelligence. But a lot of them are actually already learning better algorithms themselves. Does that make sense? So rather than humans deciding that, actually the AI itself is making it even more complex. So I've heard the other day that Netflix, for every show, they have about 100 thumbnails for every show, and you will get shown the thumbnail that you're most likely to click on.
Relate to, yeah.
I'm like, what the heck? That blows my mind. And it's the fact that it's some sort of robot. Artificial intelligent algorithm is changing. And so it's almost like, what are we setting that artificial intelligence to do? Because the more it can learn, the quicker it can learn, the more impact it has on us. So yeah, that was one book. Sorry,
right,
I'll come out of nerd mode now.
Say goodbye, folks.
Yeah, see you later. The other one randomly is Game of Thrones. I hadn't actually ever watched it, and I was like, I'm just going to read it. And it's too thick. It's really too thick. It's took me ages, but yeah, it's quite good.
Yeah. Who else? It was Longhurst, wasn't it, that mentioned Game of Thrones as well?
Yeah.
Have you watched the series since, or are you still on the books?
Yeah, I didn't want to watch it because I'm well behind on telly and that. But I've wanted to read it before I watched it, so I've watched the first season now. Yeah, it was all right. I don't want to be one of those losers that's like, the book's way better than the film. Rah, rah, rah. Yeah. I don't want to be one of them idiots.
Sounds like you are though.
Well, no, I don't think it is better. I don't think the book is better. The book just takes about 7 more months to read.
Who's the fit bird in it?
The one with the blonde hair.
I don't know. I just seen it on the cover.
Can't remember her name. I don't know her real name, but it's got it's all right.
Is it Amelia Clark?
Could be.
Amelia Clark.
I don't know.
I can't remember.
I'm gonna search her.
Okay.
I've never watched Game of Thrones, but I think I know who the blonde girl is.
Emilia Clarke. Yeah, I think it's her.
It's pretty gory. Have you seen Game of Thrones?
No.
No.
They
No.
like, at one point they like melt down gold and pour it
It's
on this
Birdie,
person's
no?
head. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, Emilia Clarke, yeah. That's her.
Joe nice.
From London. No, that's got his roots.
Comes up on my Netflix, mate. My Netflix has this weird like orange logo on it though. And a weird theme tune every time I load it up.
What, you follow my channel every time it loads out? Somebody
it
in
knows
chat
me
today,
well though.
somebody in chat today, right, genuinely, we're going off piece now, literally just went, hang on, somebody just followed and I recognise that tune. What is the tune? I said, I don't know what you're talking about. And he goes, oh, I'll have to wait till somebody else follows. And he goes, mate, and then somebody else goes, I really recognise that soundtrack, but I can't put it what it's like. I was like, oh, I think it's...
You watch a lot of porn.
I was like, oh, I think it's I can't really remember. Somebody did it for me, and he goes, is that Pornhub? I'm like, yes, it is.
My word.
Tremendous.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
It obviously we've touched quickly on TV there, Ben. You said you're behind on TV, but like, are you watching any series at the moment, or is there any series that you've watched previously that you would really recommend?
He's watching this series about two brothers that live in a flat in Peckham. It's really good. Bit of wheeling and dealing. One's a plonker, one's a Del Boy.
Yeah, I think it's quite new.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you've heard of it. Only Fools and Horses.
I think it's quite niche.
Doesn't know what that is, to be fair.
Yeah.
I've never watched it though, but I know what it is.
What?
Never watched it.
Oh, Shah will be disappointed, mate.
You've let her down. You've let yourself down there, David. Even I've watched
I'm
that.
worried that I'm going to watch something like that, and I understand it's like an English, like a British classic, or a worldwide classic or whatever. But I'm scared that I'll watch it and I won't find any of it funny if it's like old humour.
You will. No, it's not.
It's on Netflix,
decent.
huh? Or
It's on Gold,
it might
Dave.
be.
Do you know what Gold is?
Yeah. I was gonna say, it's on Dave every day.
It's on Dave.
Yeah.
I'll have
The
to watch
irony.
it. Yeah. Sorry, Ben. Go on.
Yeah, I tell you, I haven't really been watching series. I've been watching. I've watched a film. I think it was Netflix or Amazon. Can't remember. But called Bombshell. You've seen that?
No.
Basically, it's about the story of these five
Artificial
women.
intelligence. Oh, go on.
Oh yeah, but these five women who are like work for Fox News, and it's a true story. And there's basically their boss is like this awful bloke who's just like treats women horrendous, and it's all about them beginning to like share their story and them trying to cover it up and how they're going to hide it, but then like these women are stepping forward, and it's really good. It's got Margot Robbie in it, and oh crikey, who else is in it? Nicole Kidman's in it. It's really good film actually. Like, and it's got what's his the bloke who plays the main bloke in it is this big guy. I can't remember his name now, but he's played in lots of films before. He's just such a good
Johnny
actor, but he
Vegas?
plays this horrible bloke. It's good. It's good film.
Hollywood business and treats women badly. Harvey Weinstein?
Yeah, could be.
No, it's not. It's not.
Oh.
Harvey Weinstein. He's like the not the owner, but he's like Rupert Murdoch's one down from Rupert.
Jerry
Murdoch.
McCann.
You think mine was bad? I know what you mean, but I can't think what his name is.
I can't think.
I think we should just.
Is it
swiftly
Roger
move on.
something? Is it Roger?
Roger
I
Moore?
can't remember. Yeah, that's him. I don't know. I can't think now. Should Google it. Should I Google it now?
I'm googling it. Let's see.
Dave's on
You're
it.
Googling it.
Whilst he does that, I've been watching stuff today, lads.
What
You know, like, I'm terrible at watching stuff. Actually,
older boy, no? An old guy or not?
Yeah, he's an old guy. Big old guy.
John Lithgow, I think.
John Lithgow.
Lithgow,
That's
sorry,
the
yeah.
actor. Yeah, that's the actor.
Roger
John
Ailes,
Lithgow.
he's called. Roger Ailes.
Roger Ailes.
Yeah.
Oh my word! It's
Never
a
heard of him.
really good film. He's plays this horrible bloke, but great film. Great film.
Any series like old, like what's your all-time favorite go-to TV show?
Oh my word! Oh my word! That's a.
As he works in a church, could it not be Vicar of Dibley? Does he work in a church?
That's quite funny, actually.
No.
Still think one of my favourite things I've ever seen of that is when she fell in the puddle or jumped in
We
the
used to
puddle.
watch that.
Oh, that's good.
We used to watch that in
Never
RE.
expect that.
We used to watch that in RE.
Really?
Yeah.
Great teacher.
Yeah.
That
Is that
explains a lot.
wedding? Don't they have a scene where there's a wedding and like the bridesmaids are like Teletubbies or something? I remember that and thinking that's good.
Sure, it's not Gavin and Stacey.
Talking of which, Gavin and Stacey's amazing.
Yeah.
Tremendous.
Great series, isn't it?
Yeah.
To be honest, Breaking Bad was brilliant. Wasn't
Yeah.
it? But these I haven't watched in years, man. Years and years.
I've never
to be
seen
honest, what I'm
Breaking Bad.
watching now, and it's not really, it is a sort of a series, but a film. I've been going through chronologically all the Marvel films since March.
Someone else was doing that?
Yeah, pardon?
Someone else was doing that as well. Was it Seki Elakard, I think, said he got the Avengers films? Someone did, definitely. I can't remember who it was.
But I hadn't watched most of them. So last night I watched Black Panther for the first time, and I was like,
Ben
this
said
is
it.
amazing.
Dave, Ben said it when we recorded it, and then we had to re-record it. So that's probably where you heard it from.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, the previous recording that we did with us. Yeah.
Oh,
Pokes,
yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shanta.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Shanta and Al.
God.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
I get you now.
Yeah. Brilliant. Amazing.
Any other TV series that you boys recommend to do for Joe? Joe, I skipped your book recommendation as well, actually. Have you got one for today? Joe.
I've sorted it out for next week. I've just downloaded Arsene Wenger's autobiography for a bit of an audiobook experience. I think he's probably got some good stories to tell.
Who reads that?
Not me, mate. I'm listening to it.
No, who's...
Narrates.
To be honest, I don't know. If you bear with me just 1 second.
Yeah, no, I will fill the gap, because I don't think I would want to listen to him read it.
Matthew Hall, come on. Get him involved.
No, you wouldn't want Arsene read.
Well, he won't be able to read it, because he just won't be... He just keeps saying, I didn't see anything. Didn't see it. I didn't see it. Just keep to the script. No, I didn't see it. I'm going to say it's... I don't know.
What?
It's Mourinho.
Mourinho's reading it.
Yeah. He's doing it on audiobook, Ben, so we're trying to work out who's actually going to read it for him. Because we were talking about Eddie Hearns and the fact that Eddie Hearns does Eddie Hearns' book.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard
Yeah.
you chatting about
Narrator, Arsene Wenger.
Oh.
Oh, mate, that would turn me right off.
That'd be rubbish.
That would be... Yeah, well, I mean, let us know, Joe. I don't want to put it down on it already, but...
He deleted it now, mate.
Mate, I don't think you can... Not at all. I'm a big fan of Wenger. I think Arsenal fucked up by getting rid of him, so...
But he can't read books. I wouldn't get him to read a book.
Would you know?
His voice is just annoying.
Let us know what it's like, Joe.
Yeah, thanks.
Shanta.
We move on to podcasts now, Ben. Big podcast listener.
Yeah, a lot less since I've been not commuting, because I used, I think, Duke, were you talking about it the other day, weren't you? Like, going to just getting in the car, time for yourself, and then driving down the road for an hour or whatever it is to listen. That was my time for listening to podcasts properly. So I am an avid regular every week, without doubt. Listen to it by Wednesday, listener of the 5-Star Potential podcast, guys. I need you to know
there's the one that listens.
Yeah.
I know, yeah. Literally, from episode 1 as well, I need you to know. Like, when you guys started doing it, when I was, like, between stopping doing content and stuff, and I just carried on listening, and I'm there every week. But anyway,
if you email it, if you email the podcast, because if you said you've listened to every single one, you get fuck all. To be fair,
what you do is you get a new episode every Monday.
Yeah.
That's it.
Or Tuesday. Depends what time Matt's really fancies it. There's no Matt's not started editing it yet, so we don't know when that's coming out.
Yeah. Used to listen to the Peter Crouch podcast a lot. That was stopped in lockdown because I just don't have time for it. What else? Greg James's cricket one. What's it called? Oh, Tailenders.
Tailenders, yeah.
With Jimmy Anderson, yeah?
Yeah. I quite enjoy that. That was pretty good.
Because Bordy's a big FM fan, you know that?
Is he?
Yeah, massive FM fan.
Wasn't he in a competition or tournament recently, no?
Yeah, there was a long little Twitter thread between him and Miles.
That was it, yeah.
Where I shot the shot to try and get him onto the 5-star pod. Didn't answer.
I wouldn't either.
Try again. Get him.
He genuinely speaks very well. He's I mean, to be fair, he's cricket, so you'd assume he'd be boring fuck, but I think he actually comes across very nice.
Did you see that video of Andy Murray when Scotland?
The penalty goes in. He goes,
Get in there.
Get in.
I'd hate to be Andy Murray's neighbours. You see that tweet?
Yeah.
Oh, bless him.
That's quality. I don't really listen to it for the cricket. I do like cricket, but Tailenders, to be honest, it's just good laugh. They're just good. That's what makes a good podcast, really, isn't it? It's not about the actual thing that they're talking about. What's that couple as well? There's a couple And
Chris
they basically
Ramsey.
Chris Ramsey in it, yeah.
Chris Ramsey.
Shag Married and
Yeah, that one.
Avoid or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's quite funny. I quite like that as well. But a lot of it's tricky because I don't commute anymore. I got my dog walks. I go on my dog walk, and listen then really. But I can't be bothered to walk much. So it's I'm restricted to the length of time I can be bothered to move my legs as to how long I'll listen to a podcast. So
There's these things that come out quite a while ago. They're called benches. Just when you get halfway, just sit down, carry on listening, and then just walk back. It's quite a new invention. I'm surprised you didn't read it in that fucking book of yours.
robots don't need benches, so they're going to get rid of them apparently.
Benchmarking then.
The algorithm. Yeah. The algorithm. They sit on the bench, it works out your arse, and then sends you adverts for pence.
Or toilet roll, depends on the smell.
My word.
God, this has been in the mud today.
Oh, no.
Let's go back. Another podcast, High Performance Podcast. Is another one. It's Jake Humphrey, and he basically sits down, and it's not necessarily like sporting biographies and stuff, but he'll sit down with guests, and it's all about how they get high performance. So whether it's business, whether it's if it is playing sport and stuff like that. But like I'm just going to literally scroll through here. It starts with Rio Ferdinand, and it's titled Lessons from Loss. So obviously with everything that he went through, you've got Pochettino's on there, Tom Daly, Tracy Neville, Robin van Persie, Dylan Hartley, Sean Dyche, which is a really good episode, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Dina Asher-Smith, Chris Hoy, Sir Chris Hoy, Phil Neville, Reece Wabera. I don't know if you remember him. He's the Man City player that's now set up his own clothing brand, and he's like, it's gone through the roof, hasn't it? In terms of like,
is it Manev Devoir? Is it
Devoir? Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Frank Lampard on there, Sir Ben Ainsley, Johnny Wilkinson. So you got like lots of people, Stephen Gerrard, Eddie Hearn. So yeah, there's loads of top people that he interviews, and I don't know if anyone likes Jake Humphrey, but I just think like everything he's on, whether he's on BT when he used to do the F1, like everything he does is spot on. Even the Mic'd Up series he done
was good, yeah.
On BT Sport was brilliant. Like everything he touches, he's like turns to gold, and he's a grafter, and he gets himself in the right places at the right time.
Dave, you mentioned about you kind of overskipped us for the series. I've started watching this new series. I think I'm kind of ahead of the curve with it, to be honest. I don't think anyone's seen it, or I've not heard anyone mention it. It's about Michael Jordan. I've literally just started watching The Last Dance, and I know I'm literally probably the last person on the planet.
Space Jam.
I've not watched it.
Duke's watching Space Jam,
which is a quality film, by the way. I think I've got the DVD up here. But no, I've just started watching The Last Dance, and yeah, it's alright. I keep falling asleep because I'm tired, but I keep waking up.
That's not a good sign. Really.
Well, no, it's generally because I am absolutely shattered. But I do then rewind it and go back to where I was. But yeah, no, it's really interesting, the stories. I get a little bit confused.
Dave and recording this podcast.
I get a little bit confused because it does keep jumping from like time frame to time frame, and I'm trying to keep up. But when you fall asleep and wake up, and did I miss a bit or did I snooze? But it's something I'm going to probably rewatch, and it does seem very good. Yeah, I recommend it to a few people.
I've not watched that yet, but I think I've missed every single go-to show. I don't think we were talking about Tiger King. I've not watched.
That is just
what? You haven't watched Tiger King?
That is just like amazing. You have to watch Tiger King, Dave.
He's got a life.
Yeah, I've got a life. Yeah. Genuinely, all those go-to ones. What was the film last year? Was it Bird
Box?
Bird Box. Never watched that. Yeah. So yeah, I need to jump on it. I'm as I said before. I flick through Netflix and end up watching The Floor Is Lava or something like that. So
Well,
I mean,
mate, my streaming platform, I watch Bird Box, and it weren't a Sandra Bullock film.
Is that the one with the orange box again?
That's the one, mate.
The thing is, though, Dave, like it's amazing. You won't watch all these A-class, like top A quality shows and stuff, but you will watch anything with Neil Warnock in.
Yeah. I mean, that is A-class.
That's A plus plus.
A star, yeah.
That's platinum.
Yeah. So it was Jace in my chat with Fabio Silverscore to goal. He goes, he's Fabio Gold now. Then he scored again. He goes, he's Fabio Platinum now. It's like typical Jace puns, really.
That lad's wasted, isn't he?
He obviously listened to the podcast because he came into my chat and called me a chief. I said, "What's that for?" He goes, "Because you called me a chief on the last podcast." You know, when we
Did
said,
you call him one?
apparently when we said he could come down and cook for us in the next 48-hour stream or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Love
you,
Instead of
Jess.
calling him a chef, you called him a chief.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
He's
so
a proper
you, though,
veteran,
Dave.
though, isn't he? He's a
Yeah.
proper. He's been around for so long, isn't he? In the
Yes.
community,
Yeah. He's
he's done his
boy.
time.
You've known him for years, Joe, but he's only sort of come into the streaming community in the last year or so, I think, isn't he?
Yeah, probably even less than that. In 8 months, 6 months.
He's always been about, but he's never been about like he is now.
He's a good lad.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good lad.
He's a
Heart
big,
melt.
beautiful bastard. He is a big boy, tall, like massive, taller than me. And he's got a beard about the height of me, so he's a big boy.
There you go, Jace. Nice little section just for you there.
Yeah, there you go, mate. Yeah.
Well, Ben, it's been an absolute
You
pleasure
chief.
to talk today about life, lockdown, everything. If people want to watch you, catch you on social medias, where's the best place for people to look?
That one
Don't.
that Joe's talking about, the orange box.
No.
That's where I get money from, anyway. People can
That's why
watch
he's
me on
called
Twitch.
Pokes.
My word.
That one was there, but I didn't go for it. I didn't.
It's taken you this whole video to do it. It's taken this whole
To
video.
be fair, what we do is me and Joe we write all these down and we just divvy them out, we share them out, and that one was just in the middle. Either one of us could have took it, and Joe went for it. So fair play.
Well done, Joe. Yeah, PokesFM is my Twitter handle. So twitch.tv/pokes. Same on Twitter and Instagram now. Actually, I even got an Instagram account. You know, I'm like, it's not screenshots of FM aren't that Instagram friendly, are they? But you know,
Down with the
see how
kids,
that
mate.
goes. Yeah, with the kids. I'll be on TikTok.
Don't
next.
post them. Don't post them pictures.
Don't post them. I don't think I've barely posted anything yet.
Yeah. My word.
He'll be on TikTok next. You know, Dave's got a lovely TikTok.
Is he?
Yeah, Dave, I'd love you to edit in right now if that's possible.
Not that one, man. I thought we'd be... No, mate. All
Do
right.
you do all the dances, Dave? Do you do all the
No,
sort
there
of
was one that my girl...
He does the sound effects.
Yeah. My girlfriend got me to do one. I don't know if we actually spoke about it on the pod or we just kept playing it to the microphone the other day. I was with my girlfriend a few weeks ago. I was eating my dinner. She goes, "Can you do a TikTok?"
Before
with me?"
lockdown, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. I was doing it. She goes, "Can you do a TikTok with me?" I was there like, "Yeah, if we have to." She goes, "Basically, it's really easy to do.
If
You
we
d-
have to, it's
yeah.
your idea.
We just both." This is it.
Wow, that's loud.
Basically, she goes, we got to both pretend to laugh at the start. Then you do that, and then you do that, and then I'll come in and do it. I said, "Yeah, sound." So we're both pretending to laugh. The recording stops. So I go and I fully go for it on there, and I crouch my
It's
knees
funny if you
slightly.
can see it.
This is it. And as I crouch my knees, it does a fart sound effect. And
Yes.
that's
She
a
in a
joke.
dressing gown.
She's in pajamas there.
I thought I'd seen them before.
So
Bow, 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 bow.
I am waiting for
Sorry.
that to be leaked somehow on Twitter one day. So
It will come out. It will.
Yeah.
Literally, the next time you're horrible to me, it's coming out. It's there. It's waiting to go. I've got it scheduled.
I can just say it's not me. 'Cause
Dave,
look at the
it'll
hair.
never come from me, mate.
Yeah.
It'll never come from me. I never posted that other video.
Yeah.
It'll make her TikTok
topless
famous, though,
one.
Dave. Do you know what I mean? You've done her a favour.
I'm disappointed. I thought I'd send it to Joe in confidence, and then Dupe somehow got it, and then the rest of the FM community will have it one day. I'm sure.
I haven't sent it on to anyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my phone's just gone off.
DM on Instagram.
That is literally the payment that we give you is just that video clip. Thanks for coming on.
It's
Here's
worth
a
it.
clip of
It's
Dave's-
worth it.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, everyone that's listened, we appreciate it as always, and the ongoing support on the podcast is always appreciated. Big thanks again, Ben, for jumping on. Really
Cheers.
enjoyed chatting.
Well, thanks for doing all you're doing, guys. Honestly, doing this every day is no easy feat. So you guys are doing a great job, and all the people who've been coming and sharing their bit has been amazing. So keep going, guys. It's worth it. It's
Cheers,
worth it.
man. Thank you very much. The links to each of us are in the description alongside the WeShearFM email, which is info@WeShearFM.com. As I said earlier on, the links to all the professionals. If you do want to chat and reach out to somebody, please do that as well. But until next time, enjoy the rest of your day, folks, and I'm sure we'll catch you all very, very soon. Say goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.
See you later.
Is this a bad time to tell you that I haven't recorded this?